Been working on this multicam edit this week that we shot a while back now, about a month ago, because of the backlog of stuff that I have. You know, I've got some catching up to do. But this multicam edit is very involved. That's where you're using more than one camera so that you can get, you know, many different angles. And we shot it on the video cameras as opposed to the DSLR, which means, or which meant in the olden days, timecode. Now, timecode is one of those things that was invaluable for, you know, meshing together and syncing up footage so that camera A and camera B, when you're editing, are at the same point, and you can effortlessly switch between the two. You know, so understanding timecode was the way I learned how to do it, you know, back in the day using Final Cut 6, and it worked brilliantly, really nice. So yeah, all good. The old school way worked, tried and tested. But now I'm using Final Cut X, and it's just complete different ball game when it comes to multicam. It's just effortless. Timecode is a thing of the past. Trust me. If you haven't made that switch from old Final Cut, old generation to new, I'm telling you, just on that alone, the multicam features of Final Cut X just makes your work so much easier. So all you have to do now is just, you know, click on the two sets of footage, you know, drop down menu, click on multicam, and it does its magic. It doesn't make that noise. And all of a sudden you end up with a piece of footage with all the camera angles all synced up, audio synced up, and all you have to do is like vision mixing between 1, 2, 3, well, depending on how many cameras are used on the shoot. So it's pretty cool. We're moving quite fast, but it's taking a break. You know, you can get tunnel vision sitting in front of the computer all day long, you know. So it's always good to take breaks. And it's why I come up here and I look out the window and I look at the greenery and the scenery and remember that I'm a part of the human race. Because it's easy to forget when you're an editor. You know, you can spend days sat in front of that computer screen. Hours go past, days go past. Life flashes by. And you start to become machine-like. So it's all good. You know, most jobs, video jobs, events, that kind of thing, most of them, in truth, are 2-camera jobs. The promoters and the organizers tend to want to only pay for one. And that's where the little negotiating skills comes in, you know, because I tell them, you know, this what you really want and how you really want it to look and how you want it to come over. You're talking about a 2-camera minimum event, you know, but, you know, you have to try to get the vision into the minds of people who just want to do bargain basement all the time. And it's very time consuming and annoying and soul destroying even sometimes. And I found myself in situations where they've only paid for 1 camera, but I've bought 2 so that I can get the point across. You know, 2 shoes, 2 foot can't fit in a 1 shoes. Your body is designed to wear 2 shoes. If you put 2 feet in 1 shoe, sure, you can still move, you can still be mobile, but you'll be hopping along as opposed to running along. And that's a mistake we make sometimes. And because we scrimp and we, you know, try to save and cut corners here, there and everywhere, we end up hopping or even hobbling along. And if you consider an aircraft, for that aircraft to get airborne, it has to move along the ground at a sufficient speed in order to leave the ground and go skyward. And maybe that's why sometimes when we look at our progress or lack of progress, maybe sometimes it's not that we're not moving forward, it's that we're not moving at sufficient speed in order to pick up that momentum that we may get the elevation, to get the angle and the lift to take off, which is what we need to do. Methinks. Yeah, so most video jobs really are two camera. So if you're watching out there and you got an event, two camera, you have two eyes, two ears, two arms, balance. And we've shot quite a lot over the years of those like two camera events, and we got it down to a nice little routine, you know. I employ my sons, and I've always employed them from they were young, like 9 and 10. I'd put them on a camera, bring them to the event, and I put them on a camera, and I've trained them, shown them what to do, and I've put them on a camera so that we can do these events, keep it in the family. It's a family business, right? I've got my sons coming up, and I want them to enroll in and invest in what I've put out there, what I've started. It's a family business. So we got Joseph, aka Sniper, that's his code name. And we have Elijah, aka the Deadly Hunter. These are their names. We all have code names when we're out working. Yeah? So we're out there with me, the media assassin, and we have Joseph on in the bird's nest. That's the camera we set up at the back of the event with the wide angle. It captures everything. You know, he's been doing that role for a while. So he's had on-the-job training. He's had to learn on the job. And then we got Deadly Hunter up front, center forward. He's got more of a free reign. He gets the tight shots and he follows the people around. It depends what kind of event it is, but if it's a stage show, he'll be following people around. If it's more of a conference type event, he'll get the head and shoulder shots and he'll get the crowd shots, swing around and get the crowd shots, which is crucial in producing a complete package, a complete end product. And I'll be there oftentimes taking photos, moving around, getting the photos, because there's 3 elements now. There's the 2 cameras, video cameras, and then 1 photography camera. So that's a complete package now. That's a family business, complete package, handling an event from all angles. You know, and as I said, they've been doing it for years. They know their trade. They're learning and they know their trade. They know their craft. They know their positions, their roles. And we've got it down to a fine art. Yeah? And this is what we should be doing in truth. In this day of Brexit. In this day of, you know, people cannot find jobs. We're supposed to be producing a future for our young people, for our children. So it's all good. It's all good. You know, we've developed these hand signals over the years of how to communicate with each other because we don't have the radio connection that it requires when you're doing multicam. So we've got all these hand signals that we... White balance. You know, how much time have you got on the tape? Change batteries. You know, we developed all these little signals and you know, it works fine. It's all good. So that's the future. That's how we're supposed to be moving, I think. You know? And now Elijah is actually in university studying film, TV, and editing. You know? And when they call me in, when he was in college, they'd call me in for like parents' evening. And the teacher would be like, I don't know what you've taught this boy. I don't know what you've taught him or how you've taught him, but he's just smashing it. Makes you really proud to know all that hard work, you know, is coming to fruition. So yeah, the multi-camera environment, the family working together is something that I've always wanted and dreamt for, you know, and it looks like it's finally coming into fruition. Go on, chew my youth.